Welcome back to Network Africa. Egypt is still on the path to democracy, and this is according to President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi. President al-Sisi said this while defending his government's sweeping security laws, which he says is meant to keep the country safe on its path to nationhood. Ahead of a visit to the United Kingdom, Mr. Sisi told the BBC that Egypt was threatened by extremist groups and feared the collapse suffered by its neighbors. Earlier, a car bomb targeting a policeman's club in the Egyptian city of El Arish killed at least 6 people. And Islamic State's Egypt affiliate Sinai province has claimed responsibility for that attack. The security situation in Egypt is definitely a source of concern, especially for tourists. Egypt has, however, launched a campaign to promote tourism at the World Travel Market in London, just days after a Russian jet crashed in Egypt's Sinai Peninsula, killing all on board. Egypt's ambassador to the United Kingdom was at the event, reassuring those in the industry that Egypt is still very safe.
After a plane crashed in Egypt during the weekend, killing all 224 passengers, of which most were Russians, Egypt has launched a campaign to promote tourism at the 36th World Travel Market in London on Monday, the 2nd of November. The country's tourism minister was to attend the launch in London, but his flight was cancelled due to bad weather. Speaking instead was Egypt's ambassador to the United Kingdom, Nasser Kamel.
Egypt has adopted a strategy of full transparency when it came to this incident. We are working alongside Russian experts, French experts, and German experts to determine the exact causes of that plane, which we believe will be able to establish beyond any doubt, because we have recovered the black box and of course we are in the process of inspecting the debris of this airplane.
A source in the committee analyzing the flight recorder says the Russian plane that crashed in Egypt was not struck from the outside and the pilot did not make a distress call before it disappeared from radar. The source declined to give more details, but based his comments on the preliminary examination of the black boxes recovered from the Airbus A321, which crashed in the Sinai Peninsula on Saturday. Russian officials have said the plane, carrying holidaymakers from the Red Sea resort of Sharm el-Sheikh to St. Petersburg, likely broke up mid-air, but says it's too early to say what caused it to crash. Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi says it could take months to establish the truth behind the crash, though his country is cooperating with Russia to aid investigation. Kamil was, however, keen to stress that Egypt is safe to visit.
Nothing has changed in Egypt. What happened is a tragic airline incident that happens, unfortunately, part of the reality of our world with the millions of flights every day. You are bound to have an incident here or there, but Egypt as a destination is as safe as ever, and all statistics are pointing to the fact that Sharm el-Sheikh is one of the safest destinations in the world.
An Egyptian militant group affiliated with Islamic State said on Saturday it brought down the plane in response to Russian airstrikes that killed hundreds of Muslims on Syrian land. Russian Transport Minister Maxim Sokolov dismissed the claim, saying it cannot be considered accurate.
Well, let's take you back to our lead story, which is about the South Sudan crash. We're now being joined live now from Juba by Philip Alou, who was at the crash of the site earlier today. He joins me now on Network Africa. Thank you so much for speaking to us on the program.
Yes, good evening.
Thank you. I mean, it's been very difficult reaching you, but we're glad we are able to at least talk to you. What did you see at the crash? You were there. Can you tell us what you saw?
Yeah, the plane crashed just a kilometer from the airport, and it covered an area about the size of the football field, let's say about 100 meters, and it is split into several parts. The tail was intact, and all the luggages in the plane, the passengers, and other goods, because this is a cargo, it's supposed to be a cargo plane. Then the company also took some passengers and put them on the plane, which was supposed to be a cargo plane. So you could see that the luggages, the items were all mixed up with body parts of the people who were in the plane. And by 11 a.m. this morning, close to 40 people were counted to have been recovered, have their bodies recovered. And 3 people, 1 child, about 6 months, and 2 men were the only survivors.
What do we know about this airline? What do we know about, what are the officials saying about the cause of the crash and the airline?
The officials don't have any reason to say now that they have the specific at the cause of the crash. But they said that this Antonov B-Felix is a Russian-made. The serial number they say is VY406. Took off at 9 a.m. in the morning in Juba here, and within a minute it crashed. Before it took off, the pilot said they were having 5 passengers and 5 members of crew. So this all we know. There's nothing more that the officials said. They said investigation will now discover more. They will try to investigate and establish what actually happened. Was it an accident? Was it something involved? But they said at this point, what they say is now it is an accident at this point. But they say investigation will discover more.
Have we heard anything from the families of the deceased? Are you hearing anything about them?
Yeah, the relatives came today. They're trying to go to the scene, but they were stopped from going there because the fact that there were no survivors. So it was better for officials. They said they should not be allowed to go there. But I spoke to some of them. One lady had 5 relatives who were traveling from Juba to Palosh. That is her sister with 4 kids, and they all are now at this point are assumed to have died because after that child and 2 men were non survivors, the rest are presumed at this point to have died. So it was very shocking for them. They just had only a minute to say bye, and then in a minute there was the plane going down, and all the lives are now seen to be lost.
Philip Aliu, thank you so much. What a tragic incident. Thank you so much for speaking to us and giving us the latest on this really tragic incident. Now let's take you to stories making the rounds here in Nigeria. Nigerians are keenly awaiting news of the portfolios handing over to ministers who have been confirmed by the upper legislative chamber, well, that's the Senate. This follows the submission of the list of confirmed ministers by the Senate President Dr. Bukola Saraki to Nigeria's #1 citizen, President Muhammadu Buhari. In the meantime, President Buhari says that not all the confirmed ministers will get portfolios as a result of poor state of the economy. State House correspondent Chukuma Onwekusi reports.
He came in a convoy with the presidential liaison to the National Assembly, and they headed straight to the president's conference room. The Senate president has come for the submission of the ministerial list containing the 36 names they have confirmed, a job he told the president has been completed.
Formally present a list of the 18 ministers who are now cleared, and that makes a total of all your 36 nominees were being cleared by the Senate. And I was just engaging the SSA to check in the records when last that had happened. I said, well, it must be credit to the nominees that were submitted, but also credit to the hard work of the Senate. I think we'll take it that is a credit to the nominees submitted. So, sir, I want to formally present the list of the nominees.
And he rose for the formal presentation of the list. President Buhari is happy that the National Assembly passed all the names he submitted. Yes, the Constitution said there should be 36 names, but not 36 ministries, and that he must explore that following the downturn of the economy. He wonders why his critics are scared that he is telling the nation the truth.
The Constitution certainly said there must be one member of the cabinet from all the states. The Constitution didn't say I must have 36 ministries. So I will exploit that detail because of the economic imperative to have less ministers substantive ministers, let me put it that way, than whatever somebody speculated in some of the today's papers. I think the economy, as I have seen it now, since my sitting here for the last 4 months, is that we are so much bettered. Although some people are saying I'm giving bad publicity, I'm scaring away investors. Any investor who is interested in investing in Nigeria, in fact, seems to know more about the economy than ourselves. So when I come and tell the truth about the position of the economy of the country, I'm going out looking for investors, but I'm confirming to them that we are truthful. We'll tell them the truth, that we need them to come to help us help ourselves by getting in industries, manufacturing, employment, goods and services. They know our needs. But because we have human and material resources, I believe eventually they will come round and help us.
The president is grateful to the Senate president for a job well done. According to him, all the ministers, when inaugurated, will be seated in the council chambers. Perhaps for the first time, Nigeria may be having ministers without portfolios. Blame it on the economy, an issue the Senate president says should not be trivialized.
I think we need to move away from the small issues and begin to focus on the major issues. I think we're the country presently now, we're at a very trying time, no doubt about it. We have the challenge in the Northeast. We have the challenge in the issue of revenue. We have the challenge in the issue of trying to boost the economy and create jobs. We have some of these issues that we really need to address, and I think that it is time for us those are some of the things we looked at as a Senate, that it's time for us to give support in moving the country forward.
President Buhari is grateful to the senators for a job well done. Next will be the inauguration proper, and Nigerians cannot wait to see that happen quickly for an administration that has lost 5 months without a cabinet. Chukwuma Onwekusi, Channels Television News.
And that's where we draw the coaching on Network Africa today. But before I let you go, I have a question for you, and this is it. What are your thoughts on President Yoweri Museveni of Uganda running again for president after 30 years in power? The question is, what are your thoughts on President Yoweri Museveni running again for president after 30 years in power? You can definitely send me your answers at Adeshewa Josh on Twitter, or go send your email to networkafrica@channelstv.com. Twitter at Adeshewa Josh, or networkafrica@channelstv.com. Thanks a lot for watching. I'm Adeshewa Josh, and I'll see you tomorrow.